The kidnapping trend in South Africa has been on the rise, particularly since the late 2010s. Wealthy business people and their family members are often targeted and abducted for large ransoms. One of the most well-known cases involved the Moti brothers, who were found in Vuyani 3 weeks after their abduction. They were unharmed, but reports later revealed that the family had paid a ransom of 50 million rands for their safe return. Kidnappings in South Africa have become a highly profitable venture for criminal gangs, offering a way to amass significant wealth with less risks compared to cash-in-transit heists or other forms of robberies. Now, the situation has escalated to a point where international syndicates are operating from within South Africa and are involved in numerous kidnappings across the country. In this episode, we'll delve into a criminal gang from Mozambique that specializes in hunting down and kidnapping wealthy individuals who have migrated to South Africa from Mozambique. We'll also explore a dangerous Pakistani gang known for smuggling dope, weapons, people, and infamous for kidnapping affluent Pakistanis operating businesses in South Africa. Kidnapping was a member of a wealthy family from Mozambique and ran a successful forex business. In 2017, a gang in Mozambique abducted one of the family members for ransom. Now, after the family paid the ransom, they decided to flee to South Africa in hopes of escaping such threats. They settled in Mpumalanga, unaware that the same criminal gang had followed them. Now, in 2019, Gita was kidnapped for ransom, and at the time, she was on chronic medication and her family was desperate for her safe return. The kidnapper sent videos to Gita's family showing her being burnt with an iron while she screamed for help. The gang repeatedly demanded more money, threatening to take her out if they didn't receive payments on time. Now, the police were never involved and the family decided to pay the ransom. Now, the final payment was made around Feb of 2020. Now, reports indicate that the family paid a total of 130 million rands. Now, on the 8th of Feb 2024, Gita's body was found wrapped in plastic under a bridge on the N4. She had been dead for days before being discovered. Nini, a notorious Mozambican kingpin, is suspected of being behind numerous kidnappings of high-profile individuals in both Mozambique and in South Africa. Now, Nini came from a notorious family in Mozambique known in the Muslim community as ruthless loan sharks who charge exorbitant interest rates to Muslim business owners. Now, the family was involved in many shady dealings, leading to a mixed reputation. Some in the Muslim community despised them, while others held them in high regard. Nini struck it big when he committed one of the largest bank frauds in Mozambique. He defrauded a bank of 2.6 billion rands. Now, after a lengthy investigation, he was arrested and eventually he confessed to the crime, but the money was never recovered. Not long after, he ordered a hit on the journalist who exposed the scandal. Now, Nini was found guilty of the hit and sentenced to 24 years in prison. It is said that during his time in prison, he devised a plan to assemble a crew that would kidnap wealthy individuals in Mozambique. Now, he recruited seasoned criminals he met in jail, becoming the leader of the operation. Now, reports suggest that these individuals had access to laptops, cell phones in their cells, allowing them to plot and execute missions from inside the prison. Nini organized a team of his trusted lieutenants to serve as his foot soldiers, and they wreaked havoc. By the mid-2012s, Mozambican authorities had recorded 30 kidnapping cases, which allegedly earned the syndicate $50 million, with Nini orchestrating the crimes from prison. In 2016, Mozambican prosecutor Marcelino Vilanculos was gunned down in Maputo while investigating kidnapping syndicates. According to the Mozambican press, his investigation was closing in on Nini's criminal empire. In 2017, Nini was released from prison on medical parole. However, instead of complying with the terms of his release, he fled to Thailand in an attempt to evade authorities. He was eventually apprehended by the police and returned to prison. In the late 2010s, many wealthy Muslim families in Mozambique fled to South Africa due to a sharp rise in kidnapping cases. Now, unfortunately, Nini's criminal gang soon followed them and began operating in South Africa as well. Amongst Nini's alleged most trusted lieutenants are Ismail Nengi, Edson Vombe, and Mohamed Bakir Ayub. Now, Nengi is believed to have gone as far as undergoing facial reconstruction surgery to avoid capture. Now, the three men fled to South Africa between 2013 and 2017, where they are suspected of contributing to the surge in ransom kidnappings. According to SAPS, Nengi is a person of interest in several high-profile kidnapping cases, including the kidnapping and death of Gita Samgi and the abduction of Bedfordview businessman Hanif Ahmad in July of 2019. Now, Nengi was also linked to the October 2021 kidnapping of Jahir Abdul, son of Salimo Abdul, chairperson of Vodacom in Mozambique, as well as the kidnapping of a millionaire hotel owner Ahmad Anwar on June the 30th of 2022 in Maputo. Now, a 57 million rands ransom was paid for Anwar's release. Since Nini's re-imprisonment in 2018, kidnappings in South Africa have escalated, with evidence suggesting that Nengi was a key figure behind the increase. Now, Nengi was arrested in a joint SAPS and Interpol operation at his luxury home in Centurion in January of this year. As I'm recording, he has been denied bail by the Tembisa Magistrate Court pending the outcome of his extradition hearing. Another member of the gang is Mohamed Bakir Ayub, the son-in-law of a notorious dope dealer, Mohamed Bakir Sulumain. You see, Sulumain is known for building a huge mall in Mozambique using his dope proceeds, allegedly, and he's rumored to have strong connections with the ruling party over there. It is believed that he is protected by government officials due to his significant donations to the president and other high-ranking officials in Mozambique. Now, Ayub, his son-in-law, was arrested in Mozambique in 2012 on charges reportedly related to 20 kidnappings. Now, he was released after 9 days without ever appearing in court. Now, another arrest warrant was issued for him in Mozambique in 2013, but he disappeared. Now, the same year, he was arrested in South Africa on identity fraud and again in 2017 at his home in Steyn City for dope trafficking. One notable aspect of these kidnappings is that the gangs primarily target Muslim or Indian communities, focusing on wealthy families. Now, the kidnappers themselves are Muslim, allowing them to identify rich, vulnerable members of their community. Now, a favorite location for selecting their targets is the mosque, believe it or not. They visit different mosques in search of victims because they are Muslim and they do not raise any suspicions. According to some journalists in Mozambique, Nini is not directly involved in the kidnapping surge in South Africa, but it is suspected that his lieutenants are operating independently in the country, having been mentored by Nini himself. Additionally, it has been discovered that a Pakistani group specializing in kidnappings has recently been active in South Africa, targeting Muslim communities using the same modus operandi, going to the mosques. This dangerous Pakistani gang is known as Lajpal, and they specialize in smuggling dope, smuggling weapons, human trafficking, and also engaging in kidnappings and extortions. Now, this gang frequently uses Mozambique as a smuggling route into South Africa, where they have significant number of members actively involved in criminal activities. At one point, around 2007, 4 of the gang's top leaders held a meeting in the Free State, where they were poisoned and all of them subsequently died. It was later suspected that one of the gang members, Tariq Baba Tahir, a mid-level member with ambitions of rising to the top, might have been responsible for these murders. Although Tahir was expected to attend the meeting on that day, he was nowhere to be found and was never charged with the crime. However, 4 other gang members who are associated with Tahir were arrested. According to the police, the deaths of these leaders paved the way for new members to transform the group into what it is today, a global human trafficking and ransom kidnapping cartel that instills fear within South Africa's Pakistani immigrant community. Now, the social media posts that show Tahir flaunting his lavish lifestyle, often surrounded by armed gunmen. He owns a farm allegedly in Mpumalanga and houses across Johannesburg. Basically, this guy is the man here in South Africa. But Tahir has been charged with 5 separate kidnappings. In May of 2010, he was charged with kidnapping and murder in Lenasia, but the case was transferred from Gauteng to Barberton in Mpumalanga, where the charges were reduced to possession of stolen property. And in November of 2013 in Kokstad, KwaZulu-Natal, a 28-year-old man was kidnapped, and Tahir, along with 4 others, were arrested and charged. However, according to the KZN police spokesperson, all of them were found not guilty. In that same month, he was charged with kidnapping a Pakistani businessman in Sunnyside in Pretoria, but neither the police nor the National Prosecuting Authority could confirm what happened to that case. And in 2014, he was arrested again for kidnapping in Port Shepstone in KZN, but the case was withdrawn because the senior public prosecutor declined to prosecute. Now, in June of 2015 in Matatiele in the Eastern Cape, Tahir and 2 others were charged with kidnapping, and again, the charges were withdrawn. Now, Tahir is in South Africa illegally, using different documents to move in and out of the country. It appears that officials from the Department of Home Affairs have been assisting him with paperwork and also erasing his records so he could appear clean. These syndicates are known to work with the police, making it nearly impossible to prosecute them. Criminals like these can freely commit serious crimes in our country, while South Africans can't even get away with the minor speeding ticket. Now, Nini and his crew are still out here carrying out missions, even though his lieutenants are under intense scrutiny from the police while he is behind bars. Meanwhile, Baba Tahir continues to evade the authorities while pursuing his own missions.